All right, so we are taking a look at my 6 cube saw for the race. It's the Holtzfforma 395. We got, I think, 12 seconds, like 12 point some seconds, and the leader was at like 9. So there's probably a 3 second difference between this and the first place saw. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see how it's cutting right now. I mean, this is still the same setup I ran at the race. We're going to take a look at how it's running right now, and I don't know where it's going to go from here, but we're basically looking for I'm going to say at least 2 seconds. That's 1 full second per cut in speed. That's a lot. In fact, before I do this, I'm going to go and grab my tack and see where she's running at on the tack. You know what I mean? So this is going to be a combination of changing things with the build, the chain, the sprockets, who knows what. It's all open. You know what I mean? We're going to see what we can figure out, and this is probably going to take a few videos to figure out and see what kind of performance increase we can get. But what you're looking at here today is basically how it's running currently, and that's how I ran it the race. This is going to be our baseline. So as we go through this and compare, this is going to be our baseline cuts, and we'll be able to look at things in the future to see how what kind of performance increases we gained. So yeah, we're looking for 3 seconds. Well, I shouldn't say 3 seconds, 2.5, because some of that's going to be me. I'm not the best. So I don't need to do the full down up and cuts today. But I probably, I don't need to do that. All I got to do is get a good cut that I can compare to. So you're probably going to see 2 or 3 cuts. I'll get a tack reading, and then we're going to take a look at this further down the road. Let me run in, get my tack, so we can see what this thing's doing in the wood. Alrighty? Alright, I got my tack. Let's get her fired up and get her baseline. All right, so that chain makes that wood look really soft. So it is soft wood. I think it's poplar. It is pretty soft, and that chain does make it look really, really soft. But I really got that chain tweaked. I'll tell you what, that chain freaking murders wood. That is a sweet cutting chain right there. Definitely something specifically just for the races, just so you know. But the chain, one of the things about the chain is it does lug on the saw. It pulls the RPM down pretty hard. And I still don't think it's hard enough that we should be worried about that so much. I think we're lacking on the performance of the saw. So in the wood, she's running about 11.7 to 11.5. That's in the cut. That's heavy in the cut. We're not freaking, I don't give a flying fart how many RPM you get when you pull that trigger and you just let it scream. That means nothing at all. Zero, zilch. It means nothing. You can lean them things out and make them scream all day long, but as soon as you put the wood, they just freaking die. Now, the thing that actually matters is how many RPM you're pulling when you're heavy into the cut. Full load. That's the part that matters the most. So, I'm at 11.7, 11.5. I should be trying to get that closer to 12.5. I should be. So, that's kind of where we're at on this build. We need to get another 1,000 RPM out of this. That's basically what I'm thinking. So, anything less than 12,000 RPM heavy in the cut, like I just showed you there, anything less than 12, you're not going to place high in the pack. Probably around the middle to bottom. So I placed 15th with this saw cutting like that. That's good enough for 15th. And there's like 3 seconds between me and the leader. It's a pretty big gap. 3 seconds. I mean, we're talking between 3 cuts, we're talking a full second between each cut. That's like 1,000 RPM. That is considerably more power than what I have right now. So we're going to be going into the saw and making some tweaks. Today is about getting us our baseline runs. I have no idea what for tweaks I need to make to this saw. Or what I'm going to do to it, I should say. No idea. I'm going to pull it apart and take a look at everything. I do have another piston, so I can throw another piston in it. Eliminates some modifications that I made into the piston on this one, and you know what I mean, run it without those things. One of the issues this saw has is the compression is not hot. They're very high, and I have the exhaust roof sit really high, but I did a lot of that with the piston. If I was to guess, we're probably around 180 pound of compression. If I was to guess, I think we're going to have to get it up another at least 20, probably closer to 40 pound of compression. I think that's one of the things I'm going to do here. And the exhaust roof, I don't know. We're going to have to see where she is. I don't remember off the top of my head what my numbers are. I do remember the intake on this is really long. It's sitting at like 86 degrees. So we got to think about what we're doing here if we're going to start doing more machine work in the combustion chamber and stuff. You know what I mean? I've already got her sitting at 96 or 86 degrees of intake, which I do remember that number. It's making me think that I think if I remember correctly, the exhaust roof is sitting at like 98 to 100. And I made a piston modification and ended up taking it way up to really close to 90 degrees. One of these saws that I built recently ended up at like 89. I don't remember if it was this one or another one. But, you know, we're going to take that. Our goal is to eliminate that, jack that compression up, and see what happens. And probably going to make a slight adjustment to the transfers to help it pull more RPM. So, this is our baseline. Stay tuned. We're going to have to see how things progress from here. At least now we know. We know how it performs at the races in this performance level. And now we know that what our goal is and how much more of an increase in speed we need to, you know what I mean, to make it perform a little better in the pack. So that's where we're at. I think this year of building saws and working on saws might be our year to show up with some nice stuff, because we're kind of working our way through the process here and figuring out what we need to do, getting all of our saws built and our lineups ready and everything. And now we need to make some tweaks, maybe replace a saw or two, and take it to the next level. Start moving ourselves up a little further in the leaderboard. So we were at 15. Let's see if we can get her into the top 10, top 5. I'm hoping for the top 10, but top 5 would be like freaking sweet. You know what I mean? So, alrighty, we'll check in the next one. Later.